First contact gone wrong. The Imperial flagship Eternal Dominion emerged from hyperspace above Earth's orbit, its crystalline hull casting prismatic shadows across the planet's atmosphere. High Admiral Vexthor stood on the command bridge, his 4 arms clasped behind his back as he observed the blue world below with barely concealed disdain. Another primitive civilization, he muttered, mandibles clicking in annoyance. Scan their defensive capabilities. The ship's sensors swept across Earth's surface, collecting data on military installations, weapon systems, and technological advancement levels. The results made several of his junior officers chitter with amusement. "My lord," his chief analyst reported, "they still use chemical propulsion for their spacecraft. Their most advanced weapons are nuclear fission devices, and their global communication network relies on primitive electromagnetic waves." Vexthor's compound eyes narrowed. The Eternal Empire had conquered thousands of worlds over its million-year history. Most species quickly recognized the futility of resistance and accepted their place in the grand hierarchy. Those who didn't were simply eliminated. "Send the standard ultimatum," he ordered. "Give them 1 planetary rotation to submit to Imperial rule." But as the message was being prepared, something unusual caught his attention. His sensor officer was frantically recalibrating her equipment, her antennae twitching in confusion. "High Admiral, I'm detecting anomalous energy signatures, they're not matching any known patterns in our database." Vexthor dismissed her concerns with a wave of his upper right hand. "Interference from their primitive technologies, nothing more. Send the message." The ultimatum was broadcast globally in all Earth languages. "People of Earth, you stand in the presence of the Eternal Empire. Your civilization has been deemed worthy of absorption into our grand design. Resist, and you will be eliminated. Submit, and you will serve. You have 1 rotation of your world to decide." The response came not from Earth's governments, but from a small research station orbiting the planet. The message was short, transmitted in perfect Imperial standard: "We suggest you run." Vexthor's mandibles clicked in fury. They dare target that station. Show them the consequence of defiance. But as the Eternal Dominion's weapons powered up, the station disappeared from their sensors. Not destroyed, simply gone, as if it had never existed. "Impossible," the weapons officer stammered. "No known cloaking technology can evade our sensors so completely." Before Vexthor could respond, new energy signatures began appearing all around Earth. Hidden installations that had been invisible to their initial scans suddenly revealed themselves. What they had dismissed as primitive satellite networks transformed, mechanical shells falling away to reveal advanced weapon systems. "High Admiral," his strategic officer called out, voice trembling, "we're detecting quantum entanglement signatures, but they're unlike anything in our records. The humans aren't just using them for communication, they're weaponizing them somehow." Vexthor felt the first stirrings of unease. In the Empire's long history, they had never encountered a species that could manipulate quantum mechanics in this way. He watched as more hidden systems activated around the planet, creating a defensive grid far more sophisticated than anything their scans had initially detected. A new message arrived from Earth: "We've been watching the stars for centuries. We saw what you did to other worlds. We prepared. We adapted. We learned. This is your final warning, leave now." "Preposterous," Vexthor declared, though his confidence was shaking. "No species can advance from primitive technology to quantum manipulation so quickly. It's impossible." "Sir," his science officer interrupted, "I'm analyzing their quantum signatures. They're not new, they're old. Decades old. The humans have had this technology all along. They just hid it." The implication struck Vexthor like a physical blow. A species that could not only develop advanced technology in secret but had the discipline to maintain that secrecy while presenting a primitive facade to the galaxy. Before he could process this revelation, Earth's defensive grid fully activated. The quantum signatures multiplied exponentially, creating patterns that defied Imperial understanding. Vexthor realized, too late, that he had made a terrible mistake. "Your time is up," came the final message from Earth. "You should have run." As the human quantum weapons engaged, Vexthor finally understood, they hadn't encountered a primitive civilization at all. They had walked into a trap centuries in the making, laid by a species that had learned the art of patience and deception all too well. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and for the first time in his long career, High Admiral Vexthor wasn't certain the Empire would win. The hidden arsenal. The Eternal Empire's Grand Fleet materialized around Earth's orbit, 15,000 warships strong. High Admiral Vexthor had swallowed his pride and called for reinforcements, something he hadn't done in 3 centuries of conquest. "Quantum signatures are still increasing," reported his science officer, her antennae quivering. "The human's defensive grid is evolving." Through the command bridge's viewing portal, Vexthor watched Earth's apparent satellite network continue its transformation. What had appeared to be crude communications equipment and space debris now moved with purpose, revealing themselves as components of a vast defensive system. "Impossible," muttered his chief strategist, analyzing the data. "These installations, some of these metals don't exist in our periodic table. They're artificial elements, stable ones. The humans have been manufacturing their own elements." A holographic projection appeared in the center of the Imperial fleet, so massive it could be seen from Earth's surface. It showed a human woman, dressed in what appeared to be a simple military uniform. Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force looked at Vexthor with an expression that mixed pity with determination. "You should have listened to our warning," she said, her voice transmitted directly into the minds of every Imperial crew member. "We didn't want this fight." Vexthor's mandibles clicked in fury. "Telepathic broadcasting? Another technology you've been hiding?" "We've been hiding everything," Chen replied. "For 300 years, we've watched your empire consume species that revealed their true capabilities too soon. So we waited. We learned. We prepared." The Imperial fleet sensors detected new energy signatures emerging from Earth's moon. What they had assumed was a simple mining colony transformed, revealing vast hangars built into the lunar surface. "Launch the first wave," Chen commanded. "Show them what humanity has been working on." From the lunar hangars emerged vessels that defied Imperial understanding. They didn't move like ships, they flowed like liquid metal, reforming themselves as they accelerated. Their hulls seemed to bend light itself, making them appear as ripples in space. "By the Eternal Throne," Vexthor's weapons officer whispered. "Those aren't ships, they're artificial quantum singularities given physical form." Chen's hologram nodded. "We call them the Mobius Fleet. Each vessel is a controlled paradox, existing in multiple states simultaneously. Your weapons won't just miss them, they'll pass through space that doesn't exist." The first engagement proved her words true. Imperial energy beams and plasma torpedoes passed harmlessly through the human vessels, which responded with weapons that seemed to ignore the laws of physics. Beams of concentrated probability collapsed entire Imperial ships into quantum uncertainty, their crews experiencing every possible outcome of the battle simultaneously. "Stop this madness," Vexthor demanded. "This technology, it violates fundamental laws of reality." "No," Chen corrected him. "It violates your understanding of those laws. While your empire focused on conquering, we focused on understanding. Your scientists stopped asking questions centuries ago, satisfied with their mastery of known physics. We never stopped questioning." The lunar hangars released their second wave, swarms of smaller craft that Vexthor's sensors initially registered as primitive nuclear-powered vessels. But as they approached, they revealed their true nature. "Quantum entanglement drives," his science officer reported, her voice filled with awe. "They're using synchronized particle pairs they're teleporting. Not through space, through possibility itself." These human fighters danced through the Imperial formation, their weapons inducing cascade failures in the Empire's supposedly impenetrable shields. Vexthor watched in horror as his mighty fleet began to crumble before what he had dismissed as a primitive species. Your Empire's greatest weakness, Chen continued, is your certainty. You're so convinced of your superiority that you stopped looking for better ways. Humanity never had that luxury. We knew we weren't the strongest, so we had to become the smartest. From Earth's surface, new weapons activated. What had appeared to be simple weather control stations revealed themselves as probability manipulators, creating zones of altered physics that trapped Imperial ships in bubbles of localized impossibility. We've had 3 centuries to perfect our methods, Chen explained. Every primitive satellite was a cover for something greater. Every failed launch taught us something new. Even this conversation is more than it appears. Vexthor suddenly realized that Chen's hologram wasn't just a projection, it was a quantum computer more powerful than anything in the Imperial database, running simulations of the battle faster than light itself could travel. As his mighty fleet crumbled before humanity's hidden arsenal, Vexthor finally understood the true nature of advancement. His empire had grown through conquest, but humanity had grown through necessity and innovation, driven by the very fear of discovery that had kept them hidden for so long. The battle wasn't just being lost, it was being deconstructed, analyzed, and improved upon in real time by humanity's quantum systems. Each imperial tactic was countered before it could be fully deployed, predicted by probability engines that saw through time itself. The hidden arsenal had been revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same. Unconventional warfare. Deep within the Eternal Dominion's command center, High Admiral Vexthor watched in growing desperation as his fleet's formations crumbled. But the worst was yet to come. The humans were about to demonstrate that their quantum technology wasn't their only advantage. Multiple anomalies detected in the asteroid belt, his sensor officer reported. Mining operations, they're moving. What the Empire had dismissed as primitive resource extraction facilities suddenly activated. Thousands of asteroids, supposedly being mined for basic metals, revealed themselves as carefully prepared weapons platforms. But these weren't the quantum-based weapons that had devastated the first wave of the Imperial fleet. Are those chemical rockets? Vexthor asked in disbelief, watching the asteroids change course using what appeared to be primitive propulsion systems. Admiral Chen's quantum hologram smiled. You asked earlier how we advanced so quickly from chemical propulsion to quantum manipulation. The truth is, we never abandoned the old ways. We just found new uses for them. The asteroids accelerated toward the Imperial fleet, but instead of conventional attacks, they began breaking apart in carefully calculated patterns. Millions of fragments, each seemingly harmless, created an expanding field of debris. Primitive kinetic weapons. Vexthor scoffed. Our shields can. His words died as the debris field revealed its true nature. Each fragment contained a simple electromagnetic pulse generator, ancient technology by Imperial standards. But they weren't meant to damage the ships directly. The problem with highly advanced technology, Chen explained, is how dependent it becomes on perfect operating conditions. Your quantum shields, your neural interfaces, your AI targeting systems, they're all extremely sensitive to electromagnetic interference. The debris cloud engulfed the Imperial fleet. Individually, each pulse was insignificant. But millions of them, carefully synchronized, created overlapping waves of electromagnetic chaos that played havoc with the Empire's sophisticated systems. Recalibrate the shields. Vexthor ordered. But as his ships adjusted, the humans revealed another layer of their strategy. Hidden within the asteroid fragments were simple mechanical devices, clockwork mechanisms that hadn't been used in warfare for centuries. They attached to the Imperial ships' hulls, using the electromagnetic interference as cover. Sometimes, Chen continued, the old ways work best. Your sensors are looking for energy signatures, quantum fluctuations, radiation. They're not designed to detect springs and gears. The mechanical devices began their work, drilling through the Imperial ship's outer hulls using nothing more complex than hardened diamond tips and mechanical pressure. No energy signatures to detect, no sophisticated systems to counter. Impossible, Vexthor's chief engineer reported. They're using mechanical sympathetic vibrations they're turning our own hull resonance against us. The humans' quantum fleet held back, watching as primitive technology did what advanced weapons couldn't. Imperial ships began losing pressure, their crews struggling with systems compromised by electromagnetic chaos and hulls that were literally shaking themselves apart. But the true genius of the attack revealed itself when the Empire tried to adapt. As their ships adjusted shields to block the debris, the humans changed tactics. Some fragments now carried simple chemical compounds that, when mixed in the vacuum of space, created clouds of corrosive gas. Chemical warfare? Vexthor demanded. That's barbaric. No, Chen corrected. It's practical. Your shields are designed to stop energy weapons and kinetic impacts. They don't recognize chemical reactions as weapons at all. The Empire's mighty warships, proof against the most advanced energy weapons in the galaxy, found themselves being eaten away by basic chemical reactions. When they tried to retreat, they discovered that the humans had seeded their escape vectors with simple magnetic mines, technology so basic that it was invisible to Imperial sensors. This is why we survived, Chen explained. While the Empire focused on perfecting one type of warfare, humanity prepared for everything. We never assumed our advanced technology would be enough. We kept the old ways, the simple ways, because sometimes the best solution isn't the most sophisticated one. Vexthor watched as his fleet was systematically dismantled by what his empire had considered obsolete technology. The humans weren't just fighting with superior weapons, they were fighting with everything, using every tool, every concept, every possibility at their disposal. Hidden platforms in Earth's orbit launched what appeared to be simple metal spheres. As they approached the Imperial ships, they split open, releasing clouds of engineered bacteria, another concept so primitive that the Empire's bioscanners didn't recognize it as a threat until it was too late. Your Empire's greatest weakness, Chen concluded, isn't your technology. It's your inability to imagine that something simple could defeat something advanced. Humanity never made that mistake. We remember our history. We learn from it. And most importantly, we never stop adapting. As his fleet disappeared under a combined assault of quantum physics, mechanical devices, chemical reactions, and biological agents, Vexthor finally understood. The humans hadn't just developed new weapons, they had mastered the art of using everything as a weapon. The battle wasn't just a defeat, it was a lesson in the danger of underestimating any technology, no matter how primitive it might appear. The tables turn. High Admiral Vexthor stood before the emergency gathering of the Imperial High Command, their holographic forms flickering with barely contained rage. 3/4 of his fleet lay in ruins, defeated by a species they had dismissed as primitive mere days ago. Explain, demanded the Grand Sovereign, her crystalline form towering over the others, how the mightiest fleet in 3 galaxies falls to a single world. Before Vexthor could respond, the chamber's security systems suddenly activated. Admiral Chen's quantum hologram materialized in their secure meeting, something that should have been impossible. Perhaps I can explain, she offered, causing the Imperial leaders to recoil in shock. Your encryption was impressive, but you forgot one thing, humans are very, very good at finding backdoors. The Grand Sovereign's form pulsed with fury. You dare intrude. We dare everything, Chen interrupted. That's what you still don't understand about us. Let me show you something. The chamber filled with images, historical records from Earth's past. Wars, disasters, triumphs, and failures flashed before the Imperial leadership. You see our quantum technology and think that's our strength. You see our hidden weapons and think that's our advantage. But our real power? It's this. Chen gestured to scenes of humans rebuilding after devastating wars, recovering from natural disasters, pushing through seemingly impossible odds. Your empire conquers through overwhelming force, she continued. You've forgotten what it means to struggle, to fail, to get back up and try again. Humanity. We've never forgotten. Every advancement we've made came from necessity, from refusing to accept limitations. The images shifted to show Earth's space program, dozens of failed launches, explosions, and disasters, followed by eventual successes. Each failure led to innovation, each setback sparked new ideas. You look at our chemical rockets and see primitive technology. We see the determination that got us off our world before we were ready. You see our mechanical devices as obsolete. We see tools that worked when everything else failed. Vexthor watched as the historical records showed humanity's first encounters with alien vessels, not the official diplomatic meetings, but the crashed ships they'd secretly recovered, studied, and learned from. Yes, Chen confirmed, seeing their shock. We've known about you for centuries. Every crashed scout ship, every failed infiltration attempt, we found them all. We learned from them. We adapted your technologies and made them our own. But more importantly, we learned from your mistakes. The chamber filled with new data, tactical analyses showing how the Empire's standardized warfare strategies had barely evolved in millennia. You attack the same way every time. Your ships follow the same protocols. Your commanders make the same decisions. You've turned warfare into a science so precise it's become predictable. Humanity. We're chaos theory in action. As if to prove her point, Earth's defensive systems suddenly shifted again. The quantum fleet that had been holding position disbanded, its ships breaking apart and reforming into completely new configurations that defied Imperial tactical doctrine. We don't just adapt our technology, Chen explained. We adapt ourselves. Every defeat teaches us. Every victory shows us new possibilities. We take what works and improve it. We learn from what fails and try something new. The Imperial leaders watched in growing horror as their own battle data revealed the truth. Every time they had adjusted their tactics, the humans had already prepared multiple countermeasures, anticipating not just their actions but their entire decision-making process. Your empire's greatest strength, its unity, its standardization, its perfect order, that's your greatest weakness. You've forgotten how to improvise, how to think beyond your doctrine. Humanity thrives on chaos, on the unexpected. It's not just our technology that evolved in secret, it's our entire approach to survival. Vexthor finally understood. The Empire hadn't just underestimated human technology, they had fatally misunderstood human nature itself. Each Imperial defeat wasn't just a loss of ships and resources, it was data the humans used to become even more effective. We're offering you a choice, Chen declared. The same choice you gave us, but with one crucial difference, we're willing to teach, not just command. Surrender, and we'll show you what real advancement looks like. Refuse. The hologram expanded, showing the current state of the battle. The remaining Imperial ships were being systematically dismantled by weapons and tactics that seemed to evolve with each passing moment. Refuse, and we'll prove that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology, our tactics, or even our determination. It's our ability to turn every defeat into a future victory. The Grand Sovereign's crystalline form dimmed slightly, the first sign of uncertainty any Imperial leader had shown in centuries. In the silence that followed, the sound of humanity's victory was already echoing across the stars. Victory and consequences. The Grand Assembly Hall of Earth's orbital defense station hummed with tension as representatives from across the galaxy gathered for the first time since the Empire's surrender. The massive chamber, built from transparent quantum crystal, offered a clear view of both Earth below and the transformed Imperial fleet above, now peacefully integrated with human vessels in a joint defense grid. Admiral Chen stood at the central podium, facing not just the former Imperial leadership, but delegates from hundreds of species who had watched humanity's victory with equal parts fear and hope. 3 months ago, she began, the Eternal Empire discovered that humanity was not what we appeared to be. Today, you'll learn why we chose to reveal ourselves the way we did. The chamber's quantum projectors activated, showing the true scope of human advancement. Hidden research stations throughout the solar system decloaked, revealing facilities that dwarfed even the Empire's greatest achievements. We didn't just develop technology in secret, Chen explained. We developed a new way of thinking about civilization itself. The Empire's mistake wasn't just underestimating our capabilities, it was assuming that advancement only moves in one direction. Former High Admiral Vexthor, now serving as the Empire's chief diplomatic liaison, stepped forward. His once proud stance was tempered with newfound humility. We believed that progress meant abandoning older methods, he admitted. Humanity showed us that true advancement means expanding possibilities, not limiting them. The projections shifted to show Earth's new educational centers, where imperial scientists worked alongside human researchers, learning to combine their million years of accumulated knowledge with humanity's innovative approach to problem solving. But this isn't just about technology, Chen continued. The Empire's surrender gave us a choice. We could have dominated, as they once did. Instead, we chose to collaborate. The images showed joint human-imperial projects, quantum ships powered by reimagined chemical engines, ancient imperial wisdom enhanced by human creativity, new forms of faster-than-light travel that combined multiple technologies in ways neither civilization had imagined alone. Our victory wasn't just military, Chen explained. It was philosophical. We proved that strength doesn't come from superiority, but from diversity. From being willing to learn from everyone, even those you think have nothing to teach. The chamber's attention turned to a new arrival, a delegation from what had once been considered a primitive species on the galaxy's outer rim. They had brought with them concepts that, when combined with human and imperial technology, promised to revolutionize space travel again. This is humanity's gift to the galaxy, Chen declared. Not our technology, not our weapons, but our perspective. Every species has something to teach. Every civilization has something to offer. Progress isn't a linear path, it's an endless web of possibilities. The former Grand Sovereign, her crystalline form now shimmering with new patterns learned from human quantum physics, addressed the assembly. For 1,000,000 years, we believed we had reached the peak of possible advancement, she acknowledged. Humanity showed us that there is no peak. There are only plateaus we choose to stop at. The assembly watched as new projects were unveiled, hybrid ships that combine technologies from a dozen species, research stations where different civilizations shared their unique perspectives, and defense systems that incorporated everything from quantum physics to biological engineering. But our greatest achievement, Chen continued, isn't what we've built. It's what we've prevented. The projectors showed what human quantum computers had predicted, the approach of something vast and dark from between the galaxies, something that had destroyed countless civilizations before. The Empire's pressure forced countless species to advance quickly, leaving behind crucial discoveries. Humanity's approach, learning everything, preserving all knowledge, combining the old with the new, this is what will save us all from what's coming. The assembly fell silent as they understood the full implications. Humanity hadn't just defeated an empire, they had prepared the galaxy for a far greater challenge. We hid our advancement not out of fear, Chen revealed, but because we knew the galaxy needed to change. The Empire's defeat wasn't an end, it was a beginning. Now, we faced the real test. Not as conquerors and conquered, not as advanced and primitive, but as equals with different strengths to contribute. As if to emphasize her point, the quantum defense grid above Earth pulsed with new energy, a combination of human innovation, imperial experience, and contributions from dozens of other species. Each part was vital, each perspective necessary. The future, Chen concluded, belongs not to the strongest, the most advanced, or even the most adaptable. It belongs to those who understand that every piece of knowledge, every different viewpoint, every seemingly obsolete technology might be the key to survival. The assembly rose in unanimous agreement. The age of empire was over. The age of collaboration had begun. And humanity, the species that had hidden its light for so long, now stood ready to guide the galaxy not through dominance, but through understanding. Above Earth, the combined fleet prepared for what was coming, not as separate species, but as a unified civilization that had learned humanity's greatest lesson: true strength lies not in standing alone at the top, but in lifting everyone up together.